that is one of Calgary's mainstays in jazz. They perform every week. They are phenomenal musicians. They are super fun to hang out with. I was chatting with them earlier, and I don't know, it just makes me happy to talk to people like this. They're amazing people, and I like them a lot. I'll read you a little bit about them. The Red Line Trio brings to life an attitude of a bygone era with a modern perspective. Since 2016, Red Line Trio has been featured weekly at Betty Lou's Library. Drummer Jeff Salima has taken his musicianship around the globe and regularly lights the room on fire with thundering mallets and dragging kick drum. Now, our theater has been on fire in the last year, so just take it easy, Jeff. And bassist Steve Shepard draws listeners in with his elastic and creative interaction. Saxophonist Mark DeYoung balances tradition with the adventurousness of a trailblazer. And special to note, Jeff, our drummer for today, is a Central Memorial graduate. From what year, Jeff? Just last year. Just last year.
Yeah.
He graduated. Yeah. Was it really 1990?
Or 93.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, after a while, high school, it's not as stressful anymore. It doesn't matter as much. It's okay, guys. It gets better. Please give a big, warm welcome to the Red Line Trio. Huge applause.
Check, check. All right, there we go. Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning. Maybe we're still in the morning hours, but thank you. My name is Mark, one of the members of the Red Line Trio, and thank you to Mr. Mailman and to all of you for having us here today. It's our pleasure to play a bit of music for you. I think I'll put it out there that maybe it can be interactive through our time together here. So if you have a question, just don't wait and put up your hand or comment, whatever. So that first tune was a composition of mine. That was, did anyone happen to recognize the form of the song? I'll give you a hint. It's a very, very common song form. Anyone?
Hand that came up over there.
I can't. Oh, there we go. Yep.
I don't know what's, I don't know how to explain it, but I noticed there's a lot of repetition in it.
Okay. So there's repetition in the melody.
Yeah.
The tune was called "The Late Shift," and the basic song form is something known as a 12-bar blues. And although it was a slight variation on a typical blues because it was a minor blues versus a major blues. I won't go into too much of that detail unless anyone has any questions about that. But anyway, that was a tune of mine called "The Late Shift." That was a tune that we recorded about 2 years ago, and the CD we put out a year and a half ago. And it's kind of fun to play because it actually has a shift in the time field. Did anyone notice how it was different tempos? And one of the things that's always cool for me is observing how seamlessly now Jeff and Steve are able to make that time feel shift between the more up-tempo, which is where we started, and then the slower version of the tune. Their transition is always kind of seamless. So anyway, that was a tune called "The Late Shift." That was a tune of mine. I think up next we will play a tune written by Steve Shepard, who is on the bass. And this is a tune that he calls "No Limes for Jeffrey." And I think maybe something to listen for in this one, what's the best way to describe this, Steve? I remember you said it once. It's kind of like representative of that classic 1950s era blue note, kind of swinging kind of tune. I don't know how else to describe it. Is that fair?
I think it's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
So "No Limes for Jeffrey," written by Steve Shepard. Thank you very much. That's kind of a cool tune, right? All right, written by Steve Shepard on the bass. Questions, comments? Hand up, yes, in the back there.
I noticed that, like, do you know the song Ran Can Can and Tequila?
We know tequila, but I don't know Ran Can Can.
Okay, well, Ran Can Can's like, it has, like, it's like those two mixed. Like, I noticed that, like, it has some, like, tequila.
Right?
vibes in it.
The kind of
And
Latin
I
set.
still been playing jazz that, like, I also heard.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a great observation. So I think that's one of the things that you hear from a lot of those recordings in the 1950s, particularly Art Blakey, but other bands as well, where they would do Horace Silver, where they would do part of a tune that had kind of a Latin rhythm, and then we kind of play it as a bit of a samba, and then it goes into the straight ahead swing feel. And certainly with the shots, which we were playing throughout the tune, has a little bit of the tequila. So yes, I agree with that. Other comments? Yes?
How do you articulate your notes? Because like, I was listening to it and it sounded really cool. So I was just wondering how you like do it.
Are you a saxophone player?
I'm a trumpet.
Trumpet player? So without getting too specific, one of the main things that I've learned over the years, and it took me a long time to figure it out, but I'm also kind of a slow learner. It's all to do with air. And my wife is also a trumpet player. So much about playing brass instruments is about the air. And you're going to hear that from Mr. Mailman, you're going to hear that from private music teachers or clinicians or whatever. It's all about the air. If you have that air to support you, it makes it so much easier to articulate when you're, and also exploring a variety of articulations. It can sort of seem mind-bending and a little bit frustrating when you're, being told to try all these different variations, but those variations